Welcome back, everyone, to the Elite Series. To my side, still the wonderful Freshtana for a banger of a game that I'm really hyped for.
That heart is for you, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, we have PERTINAX against SLOTHS. You could say it's like what is it called when Barcelona plays against Real Madrid? It has a name. It has a name. What's it? I don't know.
A derby.
No, not a derby. No. It's like the Royal Classic or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
I'm not sure if I would call it that. I think that would rather be with SLOTHS against Dynasty. But
or
am I
SLOTHS
hyped?
against Oma. I mean they played like so many games against each other with playoffs, with tiebreaker and stuff. Anyway, but like both teams are like OGs of the second div, I would say.
We don't talk about our losses against Oma on this channel.
okay.
They never happen.
That was hard.
But oh boy, am I hyped to see this with SLOTHS roster play.
Yeah.
Because I might be a little bit biased, but oh boy, is that a stacked roster. Like, we got Bikan in the mid lane, who is already a legend. We got Legs on the top lane, who has proven himself as well. And then we got three new faces, but one of them is like, I mean, I was the support of with SLOTHS played League, competitive League, when I started hearing about League of Legends.
Yeah, really. That's crazy. Yeah, he started like in 2013.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. And he has definitely like a couple of stations on his way to now. Like, you could almost say it's a downfall to end up in Elite Series Div 2 for such a player. But yeah, it's great to have him here, I guess.
As far as I know, he already retired and he came back.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, he's a famous player, like in the NLC, for example, like had a couple of splits there. And then of course like was jumping through some leagues. And I think maybe I don't know if you knew that, but I would say that his like biggest success in my opinion was way back then when he played in Rift Rivals. Actually, like, do you guys remember Rift Rivals, like the tournament which never came back, where they just played like NA versus EU and LOC versus TCL and here China versus Korea and stuff. And he played actually for the Russian team in Rift Rivals. And maybe some heartbroken stuff. He played in both open qualifiers for the EU Challenger Series and lost both. But I mean, his year 2017 was like amazing. I mean, it's 6 years back in history, but still it's a great support. Kreesen definitely like a name people could know at least.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. I think that with SLOTHS has a very interesting support there, and in general a very stacked roster. So yeah, PERTINAX, they are going to try and claim the first victory against him here tonight. We're gonna see how this goes. I think it's also like pretty safe to say, and I really don't try to sound biased here, but I think it's safe to say that with SLOTHS are the favorites for the summer split.
I mean, if people like knew about like all the rosters, and I think there was 1 or 2 tier lists or something, like SLOTHS is definitely like one of the strongest teams in this league. Should be the clear favorite to win it all. I mean, they were the clear favorite to win it all last year, so or last split. So we maybe expect a little bit too much for them.
Actually, that's not true. Because last split in the same tier list from the same guy, we were placed 5th. So last split we were still like an underdog or an undersloth, and today we are kind of going into the split as favorites.
Let's talk about the draft just to keep the guys like in game. We have like classics, Serie Medio, handshake ban. Like if you ban one of them, you ban another one. Then of course like some target bans against the Rift jungler, the Kindred, for example. He is just a really crazy Kindred player. And then on the other side, just some classic bans. Macula, we saw him last split as well. I don't think was he in PERTINAX as well, but at least Macula is a name we saw last split as well, and he's definitely a great Kha'Zix player. And then of course Maokai as well. So just winning some of those champions. Krager's still really strong in the meta. I watched like LCK to this morning, and like any first pick was there as well. So Annie's just really great for the whole time right now. And then just we have like those second tier ADCs with Xayah, for example, now coming up for Mr. HB.
Yeah, I think PERTINAX one of the teams that pretty much changed almost their entire roster.
Yeah, it's most of those teams. Or not most. But I mean, Rift changed 3, Dynasty changed 2. Yeah. But anyway, let's not talk about those roster changes.
A lot of teams change a lot. Okay, let's get to the picks. We got Annie, as you mentioned already, and then we have Nautilus and Jinx for with SLOTHS here. So very late game already. But on the other hand, we have Xayah Rakan. So a nice match to that in terms of scaling and bot lane, and I think also a match in aggressiveness to the with SLOTHS bot lane here.
Yeah, I think Jinx and especially like this Nautilus pick is still flexible, and Annie as well. I mean both go either in mid or support, so you could definitely predict that this Nautilus will go to bot lane. But I really like the draft of both of those teams, and especially like for PERTINAX, I believe that they are the little bit weaker team. And just drafting Xayah Rakan just to have a really strong duo there, together with a Kragas who can definitely go for those ganks if he goes in the jungle and try to get his team ahead there on the bot lane. That could definitely work, especially against the Jinx, because Jinx is not really like the strongest early game champion. So just getting her behind with such a team comp is definitely a good idea. And now just getting those early junglers like Jarvan out of the table, and especially both of them can get to Xayah and stick to them. I mean, that's an important factor. Usually if an engaged champion engages on Xayah, you can just ult and get away. But especially like with the Jarvan prison, you can't get out after you ultimate. And with Wukong having like 2 knockups and this little dash and another little dash, you can always keep up to Xayah and knock her up. So I really like those 2 bans. And then just some other target bans coming out, like a Kiana, for example. Like it's nothing we usually see in the league, so it's definitely a target ban. And there's the Orianna. So we have a big wombo combo already for PERTINAX, and I think that's a good idea to play such a good game against such a strong opponent. Just get a wombo combo, try to press R and just try to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, play something
really like that.
Play something relatively easy. Of course, quote unquote easy, but I think we can all agree that it's easier to execute a wombo combo team composition than it is, for example, to have like a split pusher and then you have to play a 1-3-1 or something like that, which always in your game plan is a bit more complicated. But so far it looks like Rift SLOTHS is kind of doing the same here. They are picking up a Sejuani right now, so they are really matching that team fight potential. Going also with the K'Sante now, we saw last game how strong a K'Sante on the top lane can be, so we're gonna see how well it works out for Lax. But it's, I think, a champion that should fit the playstyle of Lax in general pretty well. He's known for his Jax, he's known for his Gwen. So these kind of aggressive top laners that can fulfill different roles as well during a game. and it's going to be a Jax now against Lex. So he should know the matchup pretty well. He should know his opponent's champion pretty well, which might play into his hands.
Yeah, definitely. And I really like the thing that you draft like 3 tanks into a wombo combo, because you can't. I mean, if you draft like five squishies, the wombo combo will just kill you. And if you draft like those really strong tanky champions, which you can't really engage and with which you can't really just walk over, because then they will kill you. So I really like the approach of ESLOL to just survive this wombo combo, for example. Like that's a good thing. Then they have, of course, the Jinx for the scaling, and just a really good like catching tool with Annie, Nautilus, Sejuani, just trying to engage them, get the first reset for your Jinx, and run them over. So I quite like the team comp of Rift, but also like I like this wombo combo. Maybe with a different type of top laner would be perfect, just someone who can wombo combo as well. But in the end, he just wanted the skill matchup, so you can go for it. Which team comp do you favor in this matchup?
Ooh, I think I have to go with SLOTHS here, because there's a Jinx. And no, not even because of the teams, but because there's a Jinx, and the same relationship you have to Poppy, I have to Jinx. So yeah. I gotta go with the team picking Jinx. But yeah, just because we have some shredded fans apparently in the chat, I think this is the rookie split of shredded actually. Yeah. So definitely. I'm really looking forward to see him play competitively, because he technically should be absolutely insane. He has peaked, I think, 1,200 LP in solo queue, which is definitely highest of like the entire Division 2. So yeah, looking forward to see this new kid on the ground play.
Yeah, he's definitely a great jungler. And like rookie splits are always difficult, because like just because you are a good solo queue player doesn't mean that you are a good competitive player. Those are two different things. And especially if you never played competitive, like the shot calling becomes important. Like in solo queue, you never really talk with someone, so it becomes important that you harmonize with your team, and that you like maybe are even a leader, because on a Sejuani you go for the engages, you need to call them and stuff. So rookie splits always like dangerous for the rookie, but they can just show them if they are really like the goats, or if they maybe crumble on this kind of pressure. So that's something you always need to keep in mind. Anyway, we're in game 2. Just hype it a little bit more, because it's Rift SLOTHS against PERTINAX. What a wonderful matchup.
Wonderfully done, Frashtana. You've learned from last game, I can see.
Always.
Because I would have just gone on analyzing right now. Because yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the rookie problematic, in terms of that. Of course, the teams had some times to practice already together before the split now. Of course, it depends on when exactly they have been put together, but for Rift SLOTHS, I know by matter of fact that they had some weeks of scrimming ahead of the split now, of course. But I think the question still remains is like, how much did that really help when it comes to competitive gameplay? Because scrims are still something different, but you already had the chance to at least practice with the team. And I think also that's where somebody like Grizzin really fits into the team comp. With all of his experience, he can maybe help the newer players get better into his split.
Yeah, and like you already see the DNA of Shred. Oh, really good flash there, and a really good engage, of course. Just getting an early flash out of Jinx. I mean, that's amazing. But like you see the DNA of Shredded. He is a Kindred player, so he likes and waits, and he does it on his Sejuani. I mean, Sejuani is not really like the most the most invading jungler of all time, because she's a tank and usually loses all their matchups. But he just says, no, fuck it, I'm a rookie, I will invade with a tank. And like he got the whole jungle, and maybe even tries to map swap it. I believe that they saw it now, so they know that he took all of those camps. So maybe it will just be a map split, which is fine for Rift Sloths, because they have the tank on top side, he can weak side, and they stop like this aggression of Sylar Rakan with this map split. So that's working in their favor, and Makula just steals the camps as well, and in the end,
yeah, I mean, they are basically disabling the level 3 or level 4 very dangerous initially Gragas gank that could potentially happen on the bot lane by splitting the map like this, which is, in my opinion, a very good play here, meta-wise.
Yeah, and like usually you would say that you liked... Oh, okay.
We have another there on the bot lane and some damage coming out from PERTINAX here, but they are not going in as aggressively because, of course, they know Sejuani is on that bot side, so they have to play these engages carefully.
Yeah, definitely. And it's always scary to know there's a jungler, let's jump in. I mean, it could go wrong, so but it was all well prepared there, and they need to play aggressive. I mean, that's the DNA of Sylar Rakan, winning your lane with the strong duo. And now like a big wave on the top lane, but they can't really shove it in because Electro is too low to shove the wave. So Makula can't tower dive there yet, but no, Nautilus maybe is in danger.
Yeah, another engage there on the bot lane. Reason will go down, but Shredded is there now to maybe make that return happen. And they are going to pick up the Xayah there. And Leolas has to flash under the tower. And the first kills go to a Duffler.
Yeah, like I said, it's so dangerous. You know Sejuani is there, so why go for those engages? I mean, in the end, they traded all the summoner spells. That's important because now they can play really aggressively in the lane in the 2v2. And they traded more or less evenly because both ADCs got a kill. But Xayah missed a couple of CS for that. And in the end, it's fine to go for such an all-in. But it was risky. They knew that Sejuani was bot lane, and they risked it. And in the end, traded 1-for-1. So it's kind of worth for them, but still was a risky play.
Yeah, and I think it is an unnecessary like risk to take, because you can just wait to play your aggressive lane until Sejuani is confirmed to be on top side. So taking that engage this early when you still know Sejuani is around, obviously you got the stronger bot side, so just wait a few more levels, wait until you see Sejuani's on the top side and take the engage then, and you're probably gonna get 2 kills out of it without losing one of your members.
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention is that Lex, although there was a map split and he technically needed to play safe, has more CS right now than Electro. So that worked out for Rift Sloths really, really well, and Lex didn't fall too far behind in this 1v1 matchup. And of course can always block this stun. And I mean, that's really an annoying part of Cassandra's kit, that he can't get stunned with his W there. So he can always go for those trades, and every time he sees the helicopter, he can just press his W and is pretty much safe. So Lex definitely knows the matchup well and plays it at the moment really, really good.
Yeah. And I think we can see right now something that we could have predicted from the champ select on, that a lot of this game is going to resolve around the bot lane. Again, we have both junglers on their bot side here. And that is even though Shredded's top side jungle is almost entirely up right now. But he still sticks around that bot side, of course, because it is the most important play for both teams. Because Drake is also up. I think Gragas is already on that one, as we are now having the engages, so Gragas has to move right now. But Rift, of course, is already in here. Doesn't get a kill though before Makula manages to come in. Very nice flash route there onto a Duffler, but it's going a bit too far as Rift is picking up the first kill here. However, immediately the return kills for PERTINAX, who are ending this with a double kill for Mr. Hub.
Yeah, Mr. Hub just getting 2 kills there, and even though like they over chased it, and Makula maybe underestimated his own damage there, but in the end, because of that, Rift tried to re-engage because they said, okay, we got 1, and then those feathers from Mr. HB just crushed in the bot lane. Now just see the item difference. It's boots against Stormrazor. I mean, this bot lane will really will turn out to be really bad for when those two bot lanes meet again. Just because, yeah, you're missing like the movement speed from boots, but Stormrazor gives you movement speed, so they will probably pretty much are even in those little trades. And with that, they can play definitely really aggressive against the Jinx. Because in the end, you saw that she needed to flash the shockwave. And with that in mind, Rakan can just always go onto her. Especially, he will hit level 6 soon. And with level 6, this Jinx should be dead 100% of the times.
Now we have the play here in the mid lane. Both junglers are there, and the supports are even coming in as well. Shredded gets thrown under the tower there, and it's going to be his fave to die here to PERTINAX, which have executed this wonderfully. Like, this Gragas ultimate was just a game changer there.
Yeah, and Makala just... he is like the solid foundation of PERTINAX, like from last split. I mean, he is one of the players who sticked to his team from last split, and you can just see why. I mean, just in terms of solo queue stats, he's maybe behind against Shredded, but in terms of just this competitive gameplay right now, Makala just knows where to be, just gets those crucial ultimates in, and in the end, outfarms him even at the moment. So definitely great showing right now from PERTINAX, and that's exactly what we wanted to see from them. A more or less easy to execute team comp and just trying to pin down those favorites in those team fights and get you bot lane ahead, because it's Sarah Rakan. They are ahead now. Play for dragons, play for team fights, and then it could be a good step to win this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that also the positioning of the junglers in this game is extremely important, and it's something that Makala right now is nailing a bit more than Shredded. Definitely, he has been there always, basically in the perfect spots when he was needed, and yeah, this really helps right now. And we have a very similar situation now to the previous one, where we have Sejuani waiting in the bush, and we have Gragas who's already on the Drake. Now it is PTX who is going for the re-engage. Shredder took a lot of time to actually join the fight there, and therefore they're not going to succeed in taking any kills. Meanwhile, Gragas is still on the Drake, and it's going to be the first one going to PERTINAX.
I mean, it was a good... I mean, it's not really cross-map play because it was both on the bot side, but while Makala was taking down the Drake, Shredded tried to make a bot lane play, but you can just see why Sarah Rakan is such a good duo. They can just escape such a situation just because those really long jumps from Rakan, and as long as Mr. HB has his ultimate, he is really safe for his own, and then Rakan can just knock them up, charm them, and then jump out. So they are just really safe in such a matchup. But even though Zaya has a good lead right now, Jinx got the 2 kills of Rift as well. So, and that's the late game assurance of Rift. And with 2 kills on your Jinx, I feel you are really happy at the moment for Rift.
I think also what was like pretty astonishing during that last play was that Makala didn't move to the bot lane, and that's, in my opinion, perfect communication from PERTINAX to like see and call immediately from the bot lane of PERTINAX to say, hey, no guys, we are fine, we don't need any support here, even though Sejuani is right about the corner, and then let Makala and Yetified finish that Drake.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, if I want to criticize PERTINAX right now, is that Antifar has his flash up. So this Jinx was flashless for 5 minutes, and you couldn't really punish it. And especially with such a team comp with your Rakan, with your Gragas, like a unmobile ADC without flash should be a free kill normally. So not repeat ganking that in those 5 minutes. Maybe a little misstep, but at least, I mean, they got the Herald, they got the Drake, so they got something in return for that. And it's not harming them to not kill this Jinx, but it could have been possible to kill a flashless Jinx with your Kragas.
Yeah, but I think that's criticism on a high level there. I mean,
Yeah,
after all,
definitely.
PERTINAX is leading the game here, even though it is just 1k gold. So everything is still in for both teams right here. But I think it's astonishing, at least, that PERTINAX even is leading the game right now. Because normally I would have predicted that with SLOTHS should be in a lead by now, after 13 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I think they are the clear favorite in this game, and at the moment, I mean, it's just 1k, so nothing lost for Rift, but like they kind of got awake on the wrong foot, you could say. So and now they just need to creep back into this game and re-enter it with a strong gank, maybe from Shredder. I believe that they could even try to go for a mid lane play, because you have like 2 stuns with Annie, with Shredded's ultimate, for example, and you could even try to get Kreese in there. Oh, good knockup.
And we have another engage there on the bot lane. Gryzen is going to be taken out here by Mr. Herb. Sorry. Took a second there to look up the name.
Oh.
And now PERTINAX is pushing in onto the tower.
Yeah,
But
wait.
Shredded is there to help defend. Sorry.
Is it Mr. Herb or is it Mr. HB? Like, can we? What would you say?
I would go with Mr. Hub.
Herb. Okay. Okay, then I will never say again Mr. HB. It's Mr. Herb.
But
It's
yeah,
fine.
but that's just my guess. Maybe he can correct me in.
It's fine. It's fine.
Well, not in the chat. I hope he's playing and not looking at the chat. But you get what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. And like what I wanted to mention when Kreese and Sadly Light is that, like, just punishing this Orianna with like your 2 stuns and maybe a roam from someone, maybe from Nautilus or maybe from Lex, just punishing this Orianna in her scaling, because you have such a powerful champion like Annie to do that. That could be a way to just get something in this game. And now the dragon is spawning soon, so we already see that both teams kinda play around the bot side, group up and try to take it down. But especially for Rift, I don't think it's a good idea to contest it right now, because this Sire is like huge.
Yeah. Also, they are getting a Rift Turret now just to like, here you have something to take care of while we are doing Drake from PERTINAX. Which is, of course, a solid play, and it is going to be the Drake going to PERTINAX. It's their second one, so it is still fine from Rift to like let that one slip. But of course, it's another piece of ground that PERTINAX is gaining here.
Yeah,
and man, Camera really loved to show us this top lane.
and that's the most important matchup of this game. Don't forget what happened last time on the top lane. We had 2 assassins there, and it was really fun to watch them killing it all. So the cam just thinks, yeah, let's pick those 2 assassins. Look strong.
Yeah, I think a lane we haven't, because we have been talking a lot about bot lane, but another important lane we haven't talked about as much is the mid lane right here. Orianna, of course, brings a lot of scaling to the team, and so far, from my point of view, Rift is not playing enough around that Annie. Because with Annie, they really got a champion that is easy to bring forward, and if brought forward, she can be so strong. But if an Annie goes even out of the lane, she's not that strong. Meanwhile, we just get a casual kill on the top lane that I didn't want to cast.
Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, like I said, with so much CC on the side of Rift, mid lane ganks could be so easy, in my opinion, to play. And what about this take? I mean, it's just a take I thought about when you talked about the matchup, but isn't Annie right now the stronger Orianna? Is that something, because she has a shield like Orianna, she has like this big combo ultimate like Orianna, she has like poke like Orianna. I mean, isn't she just the stronger Orianna?
I agree with you on the kit itself, I think the only thing that makes Orianna just as strong, or maybe stronger, is the scaling.
Do you think she scales better than Annie?
I think Orianna scales a bit better than Orianna.
Yeah, and do you want to know why? Because her engager or her ultimate has a lot more range, because she can just place the ball on someone, he jumps in. Meanwhile, Annie needs to most likely flash in with Tibbers just to get someone, because the range isn't that high. So I think that's like the biggest weakness. But other than that, because we see so much Annie, or we saw so much Annie in the spring split on Worlds and stuff, is because she's like the strong Orianna.
So you asked me a trap question. You already knew the answer to your question, but you wanted 100%. To have me fail answering it.
I mean, I'm the color caster, right? So I knew everything, and I just wanted to train you. I just want to train the play-by-play caster in knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Yeah, knowledge is the key to victory.
Makala roaming a bit about the top lane there, but I think Lex is a little bit too scary to tower dive.
Yeah. And I mean, do you know why we talk so much and not about the game? Because nothing is happening.
Yeah.
I mean that's
nothing is happening.
I mean, every time you hear those casters just talking about whatever, means like the game is kinda slow, you could say, and nothing really happened. And both
slow or mean voices would say it's boring.
No, it's not boring.
It's not
Don't
boring.
say that. I said slow because I meant boring, but I didn't want to say boring. I just said slow instead. No, but that's totally fine. I mean, both teams have scaling. Both teams scale really well. And why take risks? Especially if you look at from PERTINAX's perspective. You are ahead at the moment. You are the maybe weaker team. So why take huge risks? You have the scaling. You have side lane, which maybe is winning after a couple of items, just because it checks and checks scales. Even jungle, I would say, scales a little bit better. Then of course we already talked about Orianna against Annie, and then you could say that Jinx of course outscales Xayah, but Xayah at the moment has a huge lead, so I think they can just let the game go on and on and on. Just take the next trade, just take the soul, and go for it.
Ooh, that would have been a big engage if the Sejuani ultimate would have hitted somebody there. So we've tried at least to make it a bit more interesting for us.
Yeah, but
now, of course, Drake is a little bit open here. And the ultimates, of course, on the side of with SLOTHS are out here. And the Seju ult would come in really handy right now. But there's none. But you still got Nautilus, you still got Annie, so you still got potential there, and they are going to try to take out Rakan there right away. That is going to work for them, as Legolas is falling, and now they're going after the jungler, getting the Gragas there. This is looking good. Now they are getting the Drake there, and the Annie, the Jinx rocket actually, to kill off the Orianna with the speed boost. Adafla is behind Mr. Hub. They're getting the triple kill, which is absolutely huge for the SLOTHS for the rest of the game. Getting that 80 carry ahead right now, and it's only Jax remaining on the side of PERTINAX.
Yeah, do you know what I kind of missed in this team fight? Like
the Sejuani ultimate.
No, the wombo combo. I mean, you drafted this rather easy, just engage them wombo combo, and then they just found nothing. Rakan got killed, and after that, like, the team fight was over because you had no front line. Because Gragas is building AP, so he is not a frontliner. Rakan just got one-shotted. And like Electro on the sideline, he teleported too late. And I believe, like, with this team comp right now, and with your lead, and you have 2 Drakes already, getting Soul or just getting the next Drake is so important, in my opinion, that they should have called Electro way earlier. I mean, sure, he got the turret top lane, but after the placement of the Herald, he could have just teleported to Drake, because then Lex has the decision to teleport as well, or to defend the Herald.
Maybe the next fight now here in the mid lane, Sejuani ultimate once again being flashed here by Mr. Hub.
Yeah,
No, by Leolas, sorry.
But do you know what I mean? I mean, they should have just tried to engage.
Now we have the Wombo combo coming in. Their Guaga's ultimate is already out, and I think Oriana ultimate hasn't been used, but they were able to take out the bot lane or with Sloths, which of course after the last fight is the carry potential, and now PERTINAX in a good position to start this Baron here. So it is really a back and forth between two teams here, and PERTINAX showing us that they are able to execute that Wombo combo, even though Freshana doesn't believe in it.
Do you know the surprise Pikachu meme?
Yeah.
What if we group as 5 and execute our Wombo combo, we win a team fight? So I mean that's something new.
I think you already said what was the problem with executing the Wombo combo in the fight before. They got engaged. They didn't engage themselves.
Yeah, but if they, I mean that's just a thing. If you wait too long, of course you get engaged. But also if you got Electro down to the Drake, like did to this team fight, because Electro got 2 kills in this team fight. If you just play it a little bit faster with Electro being on the Drake and stuff, then you can try to engage and try to execute the Wombo combo. So I think that's a big part. PERTINAX needs to understand that they need to group as 5 and be the aggressive one. Especially they knew there's no Sejuani ult, so you can just try to engage when you see the window. And now Rakan gets engaged. But gets out.
But still, I think that's the only point I want to make. I think a Wombo combo is much easier to execute when you are the one engaging than if you are the one being engaged.
Yeah, true.
Now PERTINAX, of course, with their Baron on the mid lane tower here, trying to do some pressure, get some damage out on that tower, which is working pretty well right there with the cannon minion.
And I can just play it slow. You have Baron buffs, you have cannon minions, you even have bot lane pushing, so at the moment PERTINAX is playing it really, really well. And now even maybe get legs. Oh, he needs to flash. I mean, that's an important summoner spell for... I don't know if they even could have killed him there, to be honest. And now, now it goes.
Yeah, gets a bit called out there as the Guaga's ultimate, and there's going to be the kill from Electro onto Nautilus.
Yeah, PERTINAX is playing it, I would not say perfectly, but they play it really, really well at the moment. And kinda don't let Rift come back into the game. And I mean, this Jinx like has 5 kills, so she is a big threat. But like last time, they just killed her instantly with the Wombo combo. And if this Jinx is dead, you have like 3 tanks and an Annie. And Annie isn't really fat, so you have just 3 tanks, and so you can't really win a team fight. So just getting this Jinx killed is like the victory road for PERTINAX right now.
What Jinx is the victory road for PERTINAX?
Yeah, to kill her.
To kill her, okay.
To kill her, yeah. And then you win like every single team fight. And now they even get checks to the Drake. Like they do it.
Crazy! They won't fight in the 27th minute without their top laner. Okay, I think the Sejuani ultimate is going to be a really important one right now. Guaga's ultimate already out, but Drake also already dead with that the objective taken, without Rift really contesting it or taking something else in return. So that's once again an objective basically free for PERTINAX. They are going to go for the mid lane push here right now, but PERTINAX is there to answer that. And is the tower going to fall? No, it barely survives.
Yeah, it was close. And now that's maybe one of the biggest problems Rift Sloths has. That they have just this, the whole game you have just this Jax problem. So yeah. He is always on the sideline. If he groups up, he is a threat. If he is on the sideline, he is a threat. And you can't really handle that. And you can't side them against them. I mean, Cassandra can, but it's just a winning team. It's just a winning lane for Electro. And so you really need to maybe group up 4v5. Find a winning team fight against PERTINAX, because like that's the way how to play against the split pusher. If you just let both top laners on the side lane, the weaker top laner will just lose consistently trades, will just lose the turrets. So it's not a winning play. So you need to force him to the team in when you engage 4v5 because you have numbers advantage, and then the top liner like Jax has to do like the decision either to split push or to teleport to his team to fight 5v5. So you need to force PERTINAX to do like a bad play with their top laner, because if you just let them split push or just let them group 5v5, you will lose as with SLOTHS. So that's a really dangerous situation right now, because if they just do nothing like they do right now, they will just get further behind for every single minute, lose the team fights, and especially in 3 minutes with the Drake Soul coming up, if PERTINAX gets the Soul, I would say the game is over.
Yeah, they should definitely try to look for a catch or something right now. Maybe collapse onto Jax or something like that when no major objective is up on the map. To just like win something back, because right now they are almost 5k gold behind. Okay, arguably in the almost 30th minute, that is not the end of the world, but it's still a decent gold lead for PERTINAX, and PERTINAX is definitely looking strong here and showing with SLOTHS that they are maybe not as much of a favorite as they were thought to be.
And just look, Bukan, he is just shattering at the moment to help on the sideline.
Yeah, Electro right now almost 1v2ing Lax there. Bukan is there to help, but it feels like all he's doing is auto attacks. And now the game is being paused.
Did you see? Yeah, you saw that Annie just sits there and did nothing in this 1v1, and I mean that's the reason why Electro could play the 2v2, the 2v1, just because Annie did not do the damage there. But yeah, what a really sad situation for SLOTHS, because maybe they get the 1-for-1 now, but that could have definitely be the 1-for-0. So or maybe they just trade evenly now, and that's of course not the thing you want if you just spend so much resources to stop one and you get nothing out of it. Then of course maybe the enemy team gets something in return because they don't spend those resources. So that's really sad for SLOTHS. We keep you informed if we know anything about Bukan, and hopefully it's just the internet connection.
Yeah, I would think so, especially also because of the way his Annie was behaving there at the end, that it was probably a connection issue, that he had a little bit of a disconnect there. We of course hope that this will be fixed as soon as possible and that we can go on. And we are back in there.
And it was the 1-for-1. It was the 1-for-0.
Oh. No, it was a 1-for-0. Electro is alive.
Yeah. And now they even get Baron. It's disaster. I mean, it's good for PERTINAX, but it's disaster for SLOTHS.
Yeah, absolutely bad timing there for a disconnect. Now Nautilus is being taken out there. Tibbers won't be able to do much against this 5-man squad of PERTINAX with a Baron buff either. And they are now looking at a pretty open base here. Only Jinx and Bukan to defend there. Tier 2 is going to be claimed. And we also can see now that bounties have been activated for with SLOTHS, which is to me always like a sign of, okay, now you're really behind.
And yeah, now the base is being cracked open. You have like still the Baron buff for the fights, because of Baron buff gives you some stats, some AD, some AP, so it just helps you in a team fight as well. And the Soul is spawning in 50 seconds. So just fighting it with Baron buff in a 5v5 is probably winning. You can't even try to wait for mid lane being pushed in, because Orianna still has teleport, so there's maybe even backdoor potential. So that could be something. And PERTINAX, all they need to do is to play it safe, just to find an opening angle with Rakan, with the wombo combo, just get to catch on someone and get the soul. And yeah, that could be the winning last team fight of this game, maybe.
Yeah, I think if PERTINAX does get this soul or get a winning team fight, it's definitely looking very good for them. If Rift, however, now gets a winning team fight, that would be a huge comeback for them. They are attacking Jax there a little bit, pushing him away there from the fight maybe, but Drake has already been claimed by PERTINAX. I don't know, but I feel a little bit like this current team of Rift SLOTHS has a communication issue.
Yeah, could be.
They are not always where they have to be.
Yeah, and I mean that could be, at least one part of this whole rookie thing, maybe. Just because it's way harder to get your communication rolling with a rookie usually, and then if you are losing as well, because in most team comp voices, if you ever have sit next to a team when they played scrims, for example, if a team loses, the communication gets way rougher, because players get maybe a little bit demotivated and just thinks, okay, game could be over and stuff, and that makes everything worse for such a team. So could be that just the early game didn't went like they wanted to, and now they maybe stop like the good communication and just fall into a little hole, you could say.
Yeah, but I think this like Drake fight really showed the problem there, because they were pushing away the Jax while the Drake was basically already done, instead of then focusing on the Drake and maybe try to stop PERTINAX from taking the Drake, unless of course their plan was to not contest that Drake. But then I don't know if giving away the soul, if you're still in a position where you technically can fight for it, is the right call to do. Another missed Sejuani ultimate there from Shredded.
Yeah, and even Cassandra. So you just use 2 ultimates for nothing. So I think you can't really defend your base anymore. I mean, at the moment they have a lot of wave clear with those Jinx rockets, and PERTINAX plays it really safe and defensive. But as engage.
Ooh, and a lot of damage already from the Orianna ultimate into the backline there, and Nautilus is being taken down from Mr. Hub. And meanwhile, on the top lane, Electro is pushing in as well. Already got the tower. Mid lane inhibitor, of course, missing already as well for SLOTHS, whose situation in this base is looking more and more dire. Duffler and the rest of Rift now there to try and defend this. But how much can they really do? And this is just such a, like, yeah, Lex can nothing do against it. Yep. Electro is just going to push.
Yeah, but you can see that they stopped the siege, and just because of this Jinx damage. I mean, she is now a Jinx full build, and not full build, the last Whisper still missing, but like those rockets, you could saw it on the front line, like they kinda melt now against this Jinx, and so they didn't want to overforce it. Baron is spawning soon, they have no 2 open inhibs. Just send Electro to the bot lane, and they will just try to play with their side lane, and just look at the item build from Electro. Like, you can't kill him anymore, especially now with the soul, for example. You even have to sustain, you have the tankiness, you can even try to Zonia's like crucial ultimates, and yeah, I think this game is over for Rift SLOTHS.
I think they have got, if they got any chance, they got one, and that is they have to find a pick onto Jax, get him out of the way, and then start a fight in which nobody touches Jinx.
Yeah, but I believe if you really throw so many resources to this Jax, you already lost the game, because then, like we see here, 4 people go to Jax, and you get just a Baron for nothing. And I think going for the split pusher is always like a losing play, because you can't contest the split pusher on the 1v1. Not even in a 2v1 anymore, so you need 3 people, and if you spend 3 people for the split pusher, then with the numbers disadvantage you lose something else. So it's just at this point of the game where the split pusher will just overtake the game, because usually there's like a play where you just go 5 people against 4 people, and if the split pusher just takes 1 turret for that, it's totally worth to trade 4 kills for 1 turret. But at this stage of the game, if you let Jax just be alone for like 1 minute, the game is over. So it's just at this point of the match where you can't go 5v4 anymore.
Now we have a little bit of a fight here. Gragas is being taken out there from with SLOTHS, but they have to be careful because this Xayah is, of course, still dealing a lot of damage. The camera going a little bit crazy between the fight on the bot lane there and the fight of with SLOTHS, and it might be the comeback triple kill there for the Jinx as they are taking out everybody in the mid lane, and Electro doing Electro things on the bot lane. But still, a very, very nice fight from Rift SLOTHS, potentially bringing them back into the game and at least feeding some more gold into the throat of that Jinx.
Yeah, and just look at the Elder Drake spawn timing, 10 seconds. So they could go for Elder Drake and nobody can stop them. So Jax, in my opinion, needs to go for a backdoor maybe or something, or tries to kill this Jinx maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's really risky, because if they lose this Elder Drake, then PERTINAX can definitely lose the game. So and like one of the most important factors of last team fight is that Jinx still has Guardian Angel. So they won a team fight without losing such an important item.
Yeah.
And with that, sorry for all the PERTINAX fans, and I maybe jinxed it with saying, yeah, the game is over after Soul. But not killing Jinx in the last team fight, losing it to her, and now losing the Elder Drake might cost you this game. So Rift SLOTHS, even though they stand with the backs against the wall, they could win it now.
Yeah, I mean, with the back against the wall, it's the best position to shoot, because nobody can shoot you from behind.
True.
And that's exactly what Jinx did, and it worked out well.
Yeah, and I mean, they got so many resources now from those super minions, so you get the XP, you get the gold, of course. So that's something you need to keep in mind if you give them those super minions with the inhibitors. You need to do something with the inhibitor pressure. And I think the best thing PERTINAX right now can do is just to wait this Elder Drake. Just face nobody, just run away if you see someone, because you don't fight against Elder Drake. And if they can just survive it, it's fine, but right now they kinda got caught.
Engage there onto Makala. A lot of ultimates, however, out already for just the Gragas.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth because you get the jungler out, but there's no jungle objective to be taken right now.
Yeah, but it's just 4v5 now. And especially, like, Makala is one of the factors how to kill the Jinx, because he can just throw the barrel and just try to burst her down together with Orianna, for example.
Yeah,
and
or get her out of position.
Yeah, like missing his bottle is really, really huge now for Rift SLOTHS. But yeah, I think Elder Drake will run out soon, so that could have been the biggest chance for Rift SLOTHS to turn this game. Because now, after the Elder Drake is gone, you are already in the same situation, because like everybody's scaled now, and you still didn't fix like the sideline problem. So if PERTINAX just plays their cards right, they could still win the game just because of Jax.
Can we also just like take a quick step back and just appreciate that we are in the second game of the summer split? We got a 40-minute game that is not decided at all, which felt like it was decided for the past 10 minutes or so. And now Rift SLOTHS manages to somehow get back into this game. How crazy is this? Imagine this same game, but the last game of the best of 5 of the finals.
Yeah, I mean, that would be intense. Baron is spawning soon, so we will probably see four PERTINAX members grouping around Baron with Jax on the side lane. And then Rift has the big problem to solve do we stop Jax on the side lane or do we try to fight the Baron? And right now, I even think just stopping Jax with Cassandra alone and just going for the 4v4 worked out last time. I mean, but now there's Annie.
There's Annie, and this time there's no disconnect, so Electro will have to go into the Zhonya's here and will be shut down from the Annie. And of course now they have to move quickly because PERTINAX already is setting up around that Baron area. They know they are in a 4v3 situation right now, but DPs are already coming in there from Bikan. It's going to be a 4v4, 5v4 in just a second. And it was the right call, I think, there to go for the Jax, because now they have an open Baron.
100%. But like the biggest problem there was, PERTINAX was just too early. I mean, there was no Baron, so they couldn't trade. And now, because they couldn't trade, they will probably even lose it, because one of their most important members is dead, and now the Baron gets low. Can they steal it? Can they? Don't. Makala maybe gets into the penalty stone.
And he will get the steal! Absolutely insane. Lax also very low already, as is shredded. So Rift not in a position to fight this either. And Electro is coming up in a second. So now PERTINAX with this insane steal from Makala, looking good again. They have played this Baron so safe, but in the end it wasn't safe enough for PERTINAX and for Makala coming their way. Definitely the MVP play there from the PERTINAX player.
And could that be rookie nerfs? Just getting outsmited by the veteran in the jungle, by Makala, by the last retaining member of PERTINAX from last split, just outsmiting him there as the rookie. I mean, that's clutch. I mean,
I think it's also like nerfs, because this is the first competitive game of Shredded, and it is a 43-minute game so far, and it isn't over.
Yeah, and like we are almost at this point where everybody's full build. Like junglers are missing one item, Orianna's missing an item, even Annie is at the moment, and of course those supports, but we never talk about support, so they are never full build actually. And like the next Elder Drake, I mean, just think about it. It's a game with 2 Elder Drakes. I mean, what a game! And we already see that Rift is grouping as 5 people, so they definitely want to contest this Elder Drake. But just look at sideline. There's Electro. Oh, good hook.
Good hook. This might be the engage there for Rift. They are already taking out Wakan there. Bikan picking up the kill. And with that, it's going to be it for now, and that might not be enough. Shredded, Electro, however, did use his TP.
Oh, that's so bad. I mean, not bad, but I mean, just keep split pushing going. I mean, now they try to sand him here, but it's a losing team fight 4v5.
It is indeed, and Rift knows that, and they are going in, they are taking down the Gragas there. Will try to go after Electro as well, and now moving back to the Drake, and PERTINAX with another member down realize that they will not go for the magic play once again. Makala missing, no smite, nothing to steal there, and it's Jinx picking up the...
Do you know the worst part? Orianna has teleport. You can't just go for the base race with Orianna Jax while they take the Elder Drake. And if they stop taking the Elder Drake and trying to defend the base, you can take Elder. So it's just like the decision to, oh no, we got caught, let's teleport back, instead of let's wait for them to start Elder and teleport in. Oh no, that was the biggest mistake PERTINAX maybe did in this game. And I really appreciate like Kryzen in this game, because like he kinda into the early game, to be honest, but here we see like Kryzen, he was in his competitive career just finding those clutch hooks, just knowing when and where to engage. Like he is like the biggest veteran in this league probably, and even though he had a bad early game, his ADC is still 9-1, so his ADC never died basically. And now he even finds those hooks, he finds those engages. Like this man is on a mission to win the first game for Rift, basically.
Yeah, I also think there's a part he probably played that we don't know, and that is like keeping the team calm during this period of being behind. But yeah, I have to agree with you that that hook was absolutely clutch and maybe winning the game therefore with Sloths, which of course now with the Elder Drake on their side are in a very comfortable position. They can push for their own individuals right now. They're still claiming objective bounties on that tower, which of course by now are pretty much useless because everybody is full build anyways, but apart from the supports, of course.
And the mid laners. Mid laners still have like stopwatch and book in the inventories. But to be honest, I don't like that right now from Rift. They have Elder Drake. Just fight, just flip. You win the team fights with Elder. I believe they could have finished here. Or not finished, but just go for a hook. Just try to get anything with like the Sejuani ultimate. Just try it. I mean, you don't lose anything by just throwing Sejuani ult and hoping. And you have Elder, so PERTINAX will not fight you when you have Elder. So I believe there was like the game-winning plan in their hands, and they just used 2 Elder Drakes to stabilize the game, basically. But now PERTINAX has the chance to backdoor again, because still 2 teleport. I mean, teleport of Jax comes up, and if they just get one good angle, they can maybe try to base race or something. But it will be a tough one, and they really need to send Electro on the sideline. Just keep up the pressure, and then try to teleport in with Orianna or something. I don't think that Electro gives them anything right now by sitting together with them, except if they try to fight. But I don't want to fight just to defend and just play with your split pusher. But it's really hard to decide that right now.
Yeah, I mean, for now, Electro sticks with the team, and that means that, well, that's a good thing for with Sloths, because they don't have to deal with the pressure of Jax being on the side lane, as Baron is coming up, going to be the next objective for both teams here.
Yeah, and just think about Jax being on the sideline now for 1 minute. He would have been on maybe there to make the pressure for the Baron, because right now,
Grizzin going on a bit deep, but nice Sejuani ultimate. That is a hit from Shredded here, and it's going to be the kill on Leolas for Grizzin here. Might as well give some gold to the support if he's basically the only one not full build. Still, yeah, they are not going to let Makala go for that legend steal again. Taking him out there with 3 people just to make sure that Jinx and Sejuani can secure the Baron.
Yeah, and with that, I believe the game is over for PERTINAX. Rift Sloths will just push it here with the Baron and with 2 members being dead, and 2 really important ones because they are the engaging champions. So you can't really engage now, and probably not save this game anymore. For
you know what I think is the sad thing? PERTINAX, we have the engage now here from PERTINAX. They are last stand. They have some damage coming out there from Mr. Hub, as Electro is going to be taken down here from with Sloths, and now Mr. Hub will fall any second, and it's going to be game 4 with Sloths. They take their first win, but oh my, what a game it was. We are almost at 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Whew, not an easy one.
No, it's not an easy one, and in my opinion, PERTINAX had it. I mean, and
I also think that with Sloths did not win this game because they won it, but they won this game because PERTINAX lost it.
Yeah, and because PERTINAX didn't execute the split push well. I mean, there are so many times where they just could have played split push, and they even like just thinking about this last teleport from Jax, and if you didn't teleport, you had the pressure, Orianna teleports in while they take the Elder Drake, game would have been finished in 5 seconds. I mean, that was a huge misplay. But also this one time where Makala stole the Baron, where like they got the catch on Jax on sideline, Bukan and Lex, where they killed the Jax. I mean, why is Jax there so deep, and why is Baron not being spawned? So just wait 20 seconds till Baron spawn, and Rift can't catch your Jax on the sideline, because then they lose the Baron. So so many like small split pushing mistakes by PERTINAX just lost them the game. Like it was so won, and Rift can really be proud of themselves. I mean, so much pressure on them, so much like being beaten down and then just getting back into the game was amazing to see that this team doesn't crumble in such a situation. I think that is maybe that was the best game a rookie could have had. To be honest, I mean, if they just would have gotten a 20-minute stomp or something, what should the rookie learn? Or if they're just being stomped, you can't really learn something. But with such a game, he learned more than like in 20 competitive games as a whole, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I think this game really goes to show that in competitive league, at least, a game is never over. A game is never over until it's over. Okay. What a banger we just had. I hope the next one is going to be a banger as well. And I'm going to ask Rigi to quickly bring up the schedule, because I totally forgot what the next game is going to be. Full clear esports against Dynasty. Okay, so and then we're going to see Once Upon a Team against Nex as the last game. So yeah, a new team. We're going to see next against Dynasty, who of course have been in Benelux esports almost as long as Benelux esports exists. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I have some sad news for you, Fristan. I don't know if you're aware, but Scan is no longer with Dynasty.
Yeah, I know it. But Humelu is, so Humelu is. It's my boy Humelu, so
they stay true to the tradition of a German jungler, I guess.
Yeah. Not only of a German jungler, but of a German jungler who previously played for my team.
Oh, okay. He also played for your team.
Yeah, way back in 2021, but he played there, and he even like sometimes helps us in a scrim, or previously he helped us in one game of the A1 Liga, which is an Austrian league, for example. So there he played for us one game and stuff. So
okay,
Humelu is just my boy, and yeah, it's great to see that Dynasty definitely knows where to get the good junglers.
So yeah, I guess Dynasty, if you're listening to this, and if you ever need some scouting tips, you can contact Verstana.
Always.
Okay, with that, we're going to send you guys into a short break, and we will see you right after that.